People say I talk about some weird stuff, some far out stuff. But how about that chair that you're sitting in isn't solid? How weird is that? This reality is nothing like we think it is.
When I saw what Icke is doing, I was a bit jealous of him. Wow, look at what this guy's doing.
I don't know if anybody else could do it but him, actually.
We are in a period now where speaking your truth is not just important, it's utterly crucial to where humanity goes from here. The world needs renegades. Vaccines. Wikipedia's vaccination bias. Well, Wikipedia, of course, is just bias. It's not just biased against vaccinations. And it's supposed to be open source. It's nothing like that at all. It's massively controlled. And what they say about people, what they say about situations is all agenda-based. The US, and indeed many other nations around the world, is witnessing a contentious debate, the story says, about the safety of vaccines. The forces are lining up over whether vaccination should be mandated by government or whether citizens have civil rights and freedom of choice over medical interventions. You see, this is how far we've come, is that people, vast numbers can, but vast numbers also cannot see that if you want a definition of fascism, well, I'll give you one. Having no choice over what goes into your body and your child's body. I mean, what more fascistic situation can you imagine? And yet, people are calling for mandatory vaccinations because they say people are not vaccinated, they're arming my child, while the vaccine is arming their child. My child might get this disease because you have not been vaccinated. Yeah, but your child has been vaccinated, hasn't it? Yeah. So what's the problem? If vaccinations work, how can an unvaccinated child affect your child? And by the way, why do so many unvaccinated kids not get these diseases and vaccinated kids get them? God. I mean, we're not many thought patterns or thought steps, are we? Along the road before you start asking those questions and finding that there are no answers to them except that vaccines don't work in the way that is claimed. And what this story is talking about is the fact that Wikipedia is skewing the vaccination, quote, debate, which they want to shut down because they can't win it, in favour of vaccinations, in favour of big pharma, because Wikipedia is just a massive expression of the cabal and the control of information. Where do people go now? Most people go now, if they want to know something about a subject or a person, they go to Wikipedia. And when you read background stories and whistleblower stories about Wikipedia and how they decide what goes in and what doesn't, it borders on the terrifying in terms of truth. But here's another story here. Anti-vaxxer paid compensation by Cardiff University after being kicked off healthcare course for their beliefs. An anti-vaxxer was paid compensation by Cardiff University after being kicked off their course for their beliefs. The student, who was studying a healthcare course, was awarded £9,342 by the university after complaining to the Office of Independent Adjudicator, the highest body that reviews complaints in higher education, about their treatment. They were told to leave the course a couple of months after starting when concerns were raised about them carrying out practical work which triggered a fitness to practice process. Actually, it's a fitness to have a different opinion process. The committee concluded that allowing the student to continue on the course would put their health and the health of patients at risk. What? For questioning vaccines?
See, academia and big pharma and the medical profession, they're all one unit. And government. The student was withdrawn from the course but permitted to transfer to a non-professional program. The student had filled in an occupational health questionnaire prior to starting the course where they had stated that they had not had any vaccinations and would not consent to being vaccinated in the future. Bright person. Since Cardiff University administrators did not read through the questionnaire until after the student had been accepted on the course, they were ruled to be partly at fault. But what if they'd have read before the course that someone wasn't vaccinated and didn't intend to be vaccinated? They wouldn't get on the course, right? This is the scale of the institutional bias. The authority that made the decision ordered Cardiff University to pay a student that $9,000 rather than the £5,000 it had originally offered to pay out. Did I mention that so much of humanity is not conscious? I think I'd rather talk to a plant. Much more intelligent conversation. Some of these people, bloody hell. And yet, all along, all the time, these people are infinite awareness, infinite knowledge, infinite understanding, infinite knowing. But because of the programming, they don't access any of that. You've not been vaccinated, you can't do this.